Welcome back to SheCan, where we're building up the largest library of role models who lead by example by telling their stories, their insights and lived experiences to support and guide others, because it's easier to be what you can see. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I am super excited to talk to Joyce de Haas today. Welcome to SheCan, Joyce.
Hello.
You're an award-winning co-founder with your twin sister of Double Dutch Drinks. It's a premium mixer drinks company, and you lead with a flavor-led approach, twinning molecular gastronomy with the best ingredients, putting surprising flavors on for a unique taste that opens up a world of possibilities. You crafted a collection of more than 12 tonics and mixes, something like cucumber and watermelon, pomegranate and basil. You're a certified B Corp, and you're committed to sustainability and a high quality of ingredients, no artificial flavors. You are an international brand. You're already in 45 countries. You've partnered with a lot of big institutions like Soho Haas across the world. So you seem to be a drinks brand who is doing business the right way. You're really value driven. So tell us a bit more about this journey, Joyce. How do you feel you got to where you are today?
Thank you. Great intro. Well, I think my sister and I, we really started from passion, and we didn't start from a boardroom. We just started because we loved making drinks, and we thought, why don't we just try it? And if it works, then amazing. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And we've always had the view that it needs to be an impactful business. And I honestly think that businesses our size are much easier to be impactful than the bigger businesses. So with that kind of in mind, we've always thought, like, if we can be B Corp, if we can introduce like good initiatives that help, for example, female entrepreneurs, then that's the way that we want to grow the business. And we've always been very much, in terms of how we came where we are now, we've always been very strict in, we want to be an on-trade focused business. We are all about experiences, and we want people to enjoy Double Dutch in the nicest places around the world, whether you're in London, whether you're on holidays, whether you're flying somewhere nice. That's the places where you should have Double Dutch. So I think from the start, we've always said, like, on-trade is our bread and butter. We want to be in hotels, bars, and restaurants more than supermarkets. And so with that in mind, we've started in London, and then from London kind of expanded to Manchester and other cities in the UK. And then from there, quite quickly realized we need to do export, because it's a volume business, and we also need to drive economies of scale. And in a sense, export is maybe easier than doing it in your home market, because you can work with distributors that then know they already have a portfolio of brands. So kind of export came quite quickly. And with that, we've always kind of been very on-trade focused. We still are. 80% of our revenues are bars and restaurants and hotels, and very much a city approach.
Joyce, so tell us a bit more about that journey. You've built a really cool drinks brand, and at a very young age, and you loved mixing drinks. So as students, you girls were going around with your pre-mixed drinks. When did you think the two of you actually were onto something? And how do you go from mixing your drink in your apartment and taking it to a party to having an international brand?
Well, we always used to, so we used to make at university, we used to make our own soft drinks for like parties at our place, and our friends always called us the Tonic Twins, but we honestly never thought about doing something serious with it. We just thought that's like a fun thing to do. And so after graduating, we both went and worked into finance, but we were only 21, and we thought there must be more fun things in life, and we were just too young. So we both quit our jobs. We thought our parents won't be as mad as if we do it together. So we then quit our jobs, and we moved to London to do a second master at UCL. And it's then we came to London and just thought, like, wow, that whole hospitality scene was like 10 years ahead of how we knew it in Belgium or the Netherlands. And like mixologist and bartending is like a proper career in London. And so we wrote our dissertation. Our master was in tech entrepreneurship, but we also university. Can we not skip the technology and do it about something that we're really passionate about, which was food and drinks actually. And so we also university, can we not make our dissertation as a business plan for like more innovative mixers, because we think that there's like a gap in the market. And UCL said, yes, of course, go ahead, because the course was very much focused on entrepreneurship. And then we graduated and we got like an award for best thesis of the year. And they gave us £10,000 to kind of make our dissertation a reality. And we thought £10,000, oh my God, we're done for the next 5 years. We don't need anything else anymore. We got like a year of free office space and like lawyers' advice for a year. The £10,000 was gone much more quicker than we thought, but it was kind of the start. We thought like, okay, we just try it. London is very expensive. So from the start, we thought we need to sell it. We can't start and doing like sampling and like testing it with friends and family. We just thought immediately we had like 6,000 bottles. So the £10,000 that enabled us to produce 6,000 bottles of cucumber watermelon and 6,000 bottles of pomegranate and basil. And we just said to ourselves, we need to at least visit 15 bars a day. We need to stay like as close as possible within like Mayfair, Soho, because I think that was just coincidentally a good strategy. We thought if we keep it close, it's probably easier. But I think what actually helped us really do that is that it took us it took us months before we had our first customer. And finally one said yes. But the good thing is that maybe had like 6 bars after like 6 months or something, like nothing. But people actually thought that we were slightly bigger than we were, because within like 1 mile square or like radius, they could find Double Dutch in like a couple of bars. And you would, I don't know, in Bond Street and on like Piccadilly. And like there were a couple of places like close to each other. And so people thought that there was a bigger bus, but in essence, we were probably doing 100 hundreds of pounds of revenues, maybe like neglectable, but it was like a really good start that we started like small and like really niche within that space. And so we said to ourselves, we need to get to like a certain number within the first 6 months. And we also said to ourselves, we need to do at least 4 networking events every week, because we didn't know anybody in the industry. We just came straight out of university. We didn't know drinks at all. And I think that kind of really helped us to kind of get to know the right person. Like there was this random person that helped us and find a bottling plan, and another person that helped us introduce to our first customer. And I think I really believe that people buy from people. And at the beginning, people love kind of supporting the underdog. And I think we took that with 2 hands very gracefully, and one people introduces them to another person. And I think now, if I look back at it, probably everything that has been really significant for Double Dutch has always been because of somebody else, like somebody who kind of wanted to give you that business or wanted to give you that network. So I absolutely think that network is everything, small or big. If other people don't believe in you, then I think, you really need to get to the right people that can help you. And then we also started putting us forward into like lots of awards. And then we got an award from Richard Branson like 6 months in. And that kind of gave us like the credibility we got a bit of PR from that. And that kind of helped us like to the next little stage.
Amazing, Joyce. I love listening to you. So tell us a little bit more about where you are at with the brand now. Show off a little and tell us how far you got from running around Mayfair and parts of London to sell to bars.
We sell millions of bottles a month. We're available in about 45 countries. You can find us in the most beautiful places, going from the Rosewood to Four Seasons to Soho House to all Formula One paddocks. If you fly first class with Etihad. So I think all the beautiful places around the world should and will have Double Dutch at some point. And as you said, we just became B Corp certified last year. So that whole sustainability part is important for us. In the UK, we are now the #1 premium tonic brand in our category. And yeah, we're growing really quickly, which is really exciting and super fun to do, especially with my twin sister.
Amazing. So how do you divide the sort of, day-to-day running of the company? And what is it like to run a company with your twin sister?
We love it, or I speak for myself. I love it. I think the great thing is that it's very easy. I don't know how it is with other people, but I can only imagine that with the two of us, there's 100% trust. There's like never a tiny competition as in who works harder or who works less. Like we're always on the kind of same page. And I think that's really, really important when doing business together. And we are quite complementary. So we don't, so I normally do finance. Raissa is in maternity.
Yes, congratulations to Raissa. I heard she just had a baby.
I'm covering her areas, but usually I do finance, ops, and export, and Raissa does marketing, brand, and sales. Mm-hmm. And so sales, there's probably a bit of an overlap within export and UK, but Raissa normally doesn't really get involved in the finance and ops side, and I don't really get involved with marketing at all. And I think so that's a really good way of like kind of splitting it, but there is little work, private separation within our lives because I mean it's all one blended double Dutch life. I think it's very fun, and our Christmases are always very much with double Dutch involved in conversations. Yeah. I think that's very fun. Yeah.
So Joyce, how do you feel you want to matter? What really matters to you and how do you want to matter? And that obviously is expressed by being B Corp certified. What are the values that you hold that are behind your brand?
I think it's really important to have impact. And I think on the one hand side, yes, products, to have a really delicious tasting product with high quality ingredients. And I think while you grow, very important to stay very true to the core of your product. But I think more important as a business to grow in the most sustainable way. And on the one hand side, very much towards the planet and being sustainable and making sure that we reduce our plastic as much as we can and decrease our footprint as much as we can. But also, I think what I really enjoy doing is supporting women in business. And I think I honestly think that everything where we are today, we are thankful to other people for that. And I love giving that back. So we, for example, do a female bartender scholarship where we nurture and train and educate 12 bartenders every year to like kind of help them in their next step in their career. Because I think still hospitality is such a difficult industry for women, particularly. The hours alone just make it very challenging to have a family and kind of really go bigger into your career. So we kind of focus a lot on that, on how can you maybe go to either brand side or into like procurement or buying side, or how can women in hospitality really build through a career without being completely burned out and doing crazy hours. But I also think like we are, for example, part of this amazing group By Women Build.
Yes, Saha Hashemi, and she just did an incredible event last week. I couldn't go. I had a speaking engagement, but she is unbelievably impactful. She built By Women Build, and it's all the women built brands in the UK, and she brought you all together, and you're now on Ocado, and you had this incredible event.
I mean, it's incredible. Sahar is radiantly impressive and super inspiring. And that whole group, we are part of this WhatsApp. It's so much fun to be part of because everybody wants to help each other. Everybody wants to support each other. There is only like good vibes, positivity. Everybody wants the other person to do bigger, to do better. And I think that if the whole industry could be like that, it's absolutely amazing. It's super inspiring. So I think any small things that we can do like that, what Sahar is doing for much more women, I love doing that, and I think it's really amazing to see.
Yeah, and it's much needed because we know that in 2025, women still do not really help other women. And I always think that is the weirdest thing because we are so powerful in numbers, right? So, and once we help each other, everybody wins. And
Yeah,
so there is room for everybody. And Saha is doing that with Buy Women Build, and we do that with SheCan. And so everyone who is involved with that is a win-win situation.
absolutely.
Joyce, so tell us a little bit more about that. Being part of a really male-dominated industry, the drinks industry is heavily male-dominated. What does it feel like? Like, what were the early sort of feedback, and as you grow and you become bigger and bigger?
I think at the beginning, it definitely was worse 10 years ago than it is today.
Yeah.
I think when we just started, lots of people just didn't take us serious because we were like the young twins starting a drinks business. It was a bit like, oh, you have like these twins that want to party, and like that was kind of the vibe.
Mm.
Um, and
Well,
also
look at these twins now.
lots of people thought that we were a mimic from a big company, like a twin hired for like a brand called Double Dutch, with like a Dutch accent. And so, but I think that actually helped us kind of just prove them wrong and like work harder. And also, I think we always just thought the more they talk about us or like the more they underestimate us, the better for us. They're probably not talking about the other 5, 6 guys that are selling a drink before us. So let's just take that advantage as in being more memorable. And I honestly think if you can like kind of switch it that way, that it probably also has helped us in the start because you're more memorable just because you're more a minority or less seen as others. So I think, of course, there were like challenges in the beginning, but if I look back from it, it's been a good thing.
Yeah.
And I think now there are honestly much more women that are in the industry, and I think also more women starting businesses. We're definitely not there yet, and I mean, male businesses are still being funded so much more. But I think now what I do love is that there's so many initiatives, but I do think it's on us women to take those initiatives and take the advantages that are there. If there are investment funds, for example, that are focused on investing in female businesses, then let's take it with open arms and not start maybe talking about the fact that you think that they're not investing because of you, but because you're a woman. Like, no, we should take that. We should take every advantage out there with open arms, unapologetically.
Yeah.
And I think that is like sometimes still a taboo that really needs to be broken. It's really not that bad to say what an advantage to be a woman. Great, let's take it. Fantastic. Let's just make the absolute most of it.
Yeah. Joyce, so what would you say are your challenges? What do you feel really challenged by?
I think in general, there is a balance to strike between, on the one hand side, you're a small brand that has everything in hand and growing, especially internationally, giving your brand to an extent away to a distributor, making sure that you find like that balance on you still very core to what your vision is and your mission, and making sure that while you grow and you want to grow, your partners are in the kind of the same vision and the same mission, and both brand wise, but also purpose wise and product wise and channel wise. Do they still keep you in the same channels that you foresee? So I think that's probably the biggest challenge on how do you keep your brand growing as how you foresaw it. And I think, the current government makes it not very easy with all the like taxes and packaging charges and not knowing what it is exactly. But I'm sure that we will overcome that. But it's a challenging, I think, climate at the moment to kind of navigate through on what levies, what duties, what taxes are happening in our industry.
Definitely. So that was my next question, actually, Joyce. What would you say to our Prime Minister Keir Starmer, but it doesn't matter, any Prime Minister. How can the government help you entrepreneurs?
I think we need to have clarity. Like, for example, for our industry, they are putting an EPR tax on glass and aluminium. We've known that from late last year, and they're only introducing it, saying what it exactly is on the 27th of June, maybe. But the difference is hundreds of thousands of pounds or millions of pounds of impact. I mean, it is huge. And how, as a business, are you able to navigate if, one, it's already bad enough that you're introducing glass taxes? Like, what do you want us to do? Go back to plastic or PET?
Totally,
Reverse?
totally.
Like, it goes against every normal sense, I think. So one, that's crazy. Just eliminate that whole thing. And if you're introducing it, be clear, give businesses at least 12 months of time to kind of navigate through, to introduce price increases to their customers. But they're giving us like a best case and a worst case. And the difference is like literally quadruple one or not. I mean, we need really clarity. And I think that's one. And secondly, more initiatives to kind of help entrepreneurs in this climate. I think they did a good job on like SCIS and EIS, and I think the UK is quite good at that.
Yeah.
But there's definitely more to be done, not just on the funding side, but also on network side. I think, for example, the government could introduce initiatives to help where their suppliers are smaller businesses. Why would they not be able to, for example, get a program in where we, like Double Dutch, can be a supplier for like health, education, like all the kind of government institutions, rather than going with big, obvious guys that already
choices.
Yeah.
I think these are really important points, Joyce. So what would you say are you most proud of to date?
I think in general, the fact that we started from passion and that we now see our products like actually physical in like the best places. And we were, for example, on this really small little seaside city in Belgium 2 weeks ago, very, very small. And they had this super small restaurant with like 6 tables. And it was very unexpectedly, they had Double Dutch on the table. I think those kind of moments are super fun because you would never expect to see Double Dutch. And then, so I think I'm most proud of just the fact that you see like Double Dutch in life when you don't expect it. Those are the fun moments.
Incredible. Joyce, so what does success look like to you? What does it mean to you?
I think success business-wise, probably create a brand that outlives my sister and I, and really build a brand that gets international recognition and become a staple in its own category. And I think personally, success is the ability to be flexible, to be creative, to be surrounded with inspiring people that you love spending time with. I think that's probably the most important thing. And being able to do it while having fun and having your family, and having that balance where you feel you can be impactful in business and still be very impactful within your family, and do that in a very fun way.
Yeah, beautiful vision. Joyce, so what changes within your industry do you want to see going forward, and be also a part of the solution?
I think change is more women in our industry, absolutely 100%, and more funding towards women in our industry so that there's more female-owned businesses.
And what's your end game, Joyce? What's the big vision for Double Dutch?
To grow it international and eventually world domination.
Sounds really good. I love hearing that. Joyce, who do you think are your role models? Are there people that really inspire you, and who are they?
Well, I think close by, honestly, Sahar at Buying Build. I think she has done such a great job in such a small time. I think it's so inspiring. and it's a real movement what she's put up. So I think that's amazing. I think other amazing entrepreneurs like Sarah Blakely, and for example, they are very clear in how they grow impactful and in a good way and in a nice way. But also the women that we work with in our team, I think we have lots of mothers that juggle between work and motherhood, and I think that's inspiring to see. And it's cliche, but our parents, I think our parents, they absolutely helped us like think independently and teach us that no dream is big enough. And I think that's amazing as well. So yeah.
Joyce, and do you have sort of sacred habits that keep you really productive and engaged and on purpose? And what are they?
Drink a gin tonic every day. Or a paloma, whatever is your tipple. Well, my sister and I, we both started, we never were like really sporty. But then in COVID, we started running. And now, I mean, we kind of stopped with the running, but we are now doing lots of meetings, or at least we try to do one meeting a day walking. And if we can't do it walking within a meeting, like on Zoom or something, then we do a meeting with the two of us and like start walking. And I think that's really nice because it gives us some time to wind down, but still have a walk, and we can bring the babies. It's a win-win-win, triple sides.
Yeah, sounds really super cool. So what are your plans and goals for this year and the next years?
This year, next week, we're launching a completely new rebrand, and we're launching a new bottle, and it's going to be the lightest bottle on the market in terms of weight. So really helps us do that next step of sustainability as well, but also looks super premium. I'll send you a box. So that's very exciting at the moment. And then with B Corp, I think the great thing is that they always push you to kind of do better than last year. So we're kind of reviewing everything in terms of like our supply chain, and there are some really great initiatives on how we can reduce our carbon footprint. And then we're launching in Latin America for the first time. So we're like kind of putting in our first steps in Panama and Chile. And so I think that's an exciting new market, especially with now the US being what's happening there. We kind of need to step away, or I think for us it's just too risky and challenging, and God knows what's happening with the terrorists. So I think actually Latin America is probably a market that we never really thought about, but there's so much growth there, and it's a really good fit. So I'm very excited about what's happening on that side. So yeah, lots of stuff happening.
And Canada looks very attractive right now.
Exactly. And we just actually launched with Loblaws in Canada. So we're now seeing how can we kind of get a distributor to also launch us into the on-trade. Very interesting market.
Yeah, super interesting market. Yeah. Joyce, so what takeaways would you like our listeners to have from your story if you had to sum it up?
I think if we can do it, anybody can do it. We launched Double Dutch at a young age with zero experience in a country that we didn't know. So just do it. Don't wait until you have the perfect idea or the perfect product. People really love supporting the underdog. So take that and just launch with an idea or product that is even half there. You'll perfectionize it along the way. And I think if you try and start it with a co-founder that is close in the same vision and mission that you have, and try to be as impactful as possible from the start, because then it's actually easy. Then it's never like a thing that you need to do. Then that's just part of your journey.
Yeah. Joyce, I loved hearing your story. It's a super cool story. I love that you are celebrating the underdog, and underdogs get support. That's so true. I love that you gave Sarah and By Women Build a shout out. She is absolutely super inspiring, and what she's created, and she's unstoppable, and I'm so unbelievably excited for this movement. And I'm really excited for you, and I'm excited for where you're going and where you already are. And so thank you so much for leading by example on SheCan.
Thank you so much. This was fantastic.